Hello everyone, this video will show how to add fractions using the giant 1 method. Now let's go over this example that we have down here. If you notice, the denominators of the two fractions are not the same, so we cannot add them together. We have to make sure that their denominators are the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite these two fractions down here. To add these fractions using a giant 1 method, we are going to multiply 1 to 2/3. And that 1 will be in a form 5 over 5. So whatever this value here, I'm going to multiply that to the first in a form of 5 over 5, which is actually, we have, because if we do 5 divided by 5 is actually 1. So that's why this method is called a giant 1. So 5 over 5 is just the 1. So we're multiplying 1 to 2/3. And we do the same thing for the other one here. We're going to multiply this by 1 in a form of 3 over 3. So that is 3 divided by 3 is actually 1. So then we can go ahead and multiply this across. That would be 2 times 5 is 10 over 3 times 5 is 15 plus 4 times 3 is 12 over 5 times 3 is 15. So then they already have the same denominator. So the answer for this would be 22 over 15. So this is the sum of these two fractions using the giant 1 method. Now let's have another example. Looking at this example, the denominators are not the same. We get a 4 and a 5, so we have to make sure that their denominators are the same before we can add these two fractions together. So we're going to use giant 1 to add these two. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this down here. So what I would do is I will multiply the first one with a 1 in a form of 5 over 5. So that's 5 over 5. And I will multiply the second with a 1 in a form of 4 over 4. So then we can go ahead and simplify this further. We have 7 times 5 is 35 over 4 times 5 is 20. Plus 3 times 4 is 12 over 5 times 4 is 20. So we now have the same denominator. So this is 47 over 20. So this is the sum of these two fractions when added together. Now let's have another example. So this example is a word problem. So Gwen poured 3/5 of a liter of water into a bottle and then added 1/3 of a liter more. How much water is in the bottle now? So what are we going to do here is we add these two fractions together. That's 3/5 plus 1/3. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down here. So again, please notice that their denominators are not the same. So we have to make sure that we make their denominators the same. So we're going to use the giant 1 method to make their denominators the same. So what we do here is we are going to multiply the first fraction with a 1 in a form of 3 over 3, which is actually the denominator of the second. And we will multiply the second fraction with a 1 in a form of 5 over 5. I got this number from here. So that we can go ahead and simplify this further. We are going to multiply 3 times 3 is 9 over 5 times 3 is 15 plus 1 times 5 is 5 over 3 times 5 is 15. So we now have the same denominator. 9 plus 5 is 14 and the common denominator is 15. So this is the total amount of water inside the bottle. So that is how we add fractions using the giant 1 method.